and welcome along. Today we are getting started on Felsbrunn. This is our first episode. This is the European map, the default European map that comes with Farming Simulator 19. Main aim of today is getting ourselves set up. We are playing on Farm Manager, and we are going to be basically we're going to be starting off buying our first field, buying our first equipment, hopefully getting a harvest done, and then going from there. So without further ado, let's take a look at the map and select where we're going to start our farm, where we're going to be. And so what I've looked at, I've done a little bit of research on the map so far. And I'm looking basically for something we can harvest with a standard combine to start with. So our choices are between wheat, barley, oat, canola and soybeans. And then we want something that is ready to harvest as well. So looking at this, ready to harvest is 17, 25, 22 and 32. Now, the only fields that match our criteria are 17, 25 and in fact all four of those. I'm going to go for 17 because it's 260,000, so it's about a quarter of well, it's just over a quarter of what we have. It's got soybeans in it, and this area next to field 9 is also really, really great for building a farm. So that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to buy that field. And soybeans, of course, is a nice high profit crop to start with. So we're going to need a combine to harvest this. So first though, we need a good all-round tractor that's be able to do everything we need it to. So looking at, we're not going to do small tractors actually. Looking at this, I want a medium tractor, and I want one that isn't too expensive. So looking at this, I'm not going to go with the 7200 Pro because it's a starter tractor on most maps, and so that's a. We then have this set of 3 here, which is the T-Series New Holland, the Maxim Series case, and the Profi CBT. 102,000 for the T6. 112 for the Maxim, and for the Steyr, it is 112 as well. And then we get to the John Deere, and then the prices are, we get a huge jump up to the Vultra after the Steyr. The Stara. So I'm going to have a look at these 3. Now, my initial instinct, firstly, I'm taking out the T6 because we're using that on corporate contracting. So Jamie has that tractor. So that leaves us with the case and the Profi. And the Steyr. We're looking at these. The case in the configuration we want, which is the maximum engine size for 175 horsepower, and we want a front loader attacher on it. That is 128,500. The Steyr, however, if we take the 175 horsepower with a front loader attacher, that is 118. So we'd actually save a little bit of money using the Steyr. And Steyr is not a tractor that often gets used by many people. So I think we're going to take the Steyr. We're going to use the Steyr as our general use tractor. 170 horsepower should do as well. So that's what we're going to purchase here. We need a harvester as well. So harvester I'm going for. There's only one harvester I want on this map. That is the John Deere T560. It's got a decent grain capacity of 10,000 litres. It is a whole 15,000 litres cheaper than the Rostel Mash, and has more horsepower. So yeah, we're going to take this. I think I'm going to put the Michelin tyres on it. Doesn't cost us anything extra. So it makes for a nice setup. That one does. So we'll buy that. So that is our combine and our tractor. So we need some trailers. We need a trailer that will hold 20,000 litres. The only ones that will do that from standard are these 2, the TKD 302 and HKD 302. I'm actually going to go for the non-dolly one. I prefer a non-dolly trailer. It is a couple of thousand more expensive, but it's a good fit for us. And I'm going to do it in, I think down the side we'll have the darker green. We'll leave it, we'll put the Michelins on that as well. And we'll leave the design as white. So, yeah, I like that one. So that is a good setup. Next up, we need a header for the combine. There is only one header for this. It is the 625X. So that is the header that matches our combine. So we'll buy that. No options on that. And then finally, we need a header trailer. Oh, we need a header trailer and a weight. So if we head along here, you can see over here we've got a header trailer. So header trailer here. This one is really the only one. That is way too big. This will just about fit our header on it. So we'll select this and we will put it in the John Deere green so that it matches our header that we're going to put on it. There we go. And then finally we need a weight for our tractor. I want about 1,000 kilogram weight, I think. I think that will work the best. We will get it in a standard black, I think. Yeah. So we can get it in lots and lots of colours. But I'm going to go with the standard. Actually, I'm going to go with a grey on it, actually. Or maybe the Fendt grey. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Fendt grey on it. Even though we're not putting it on a Fendt. I think it works well in that colour. So there we are. Here is our line of equipment. So we've got the little Steyr 415 Profi tractor. The new, the John Deere T560i. The AgroLiner trailer. The John Deere header for the combine. The header trailer and the weight. Which actually looks really good in that colour. Wow, I like that in that colour. Right. So, let's attach our tractor up and get that up to the field. And then we can follow up in a moment with our trailer. The other thing we want to do at this point is I want to change it so that the automatic engine start is off. So now we have full control of the engine, which is really useful for us in certain situations. So we got the front loader on here because that's going to be useful at certain points. Not useful to us at the moment, really. But going forward, it will be. There we are. And I'm already quite liking this little Steyr. It is a good little tractor, this one. There we go. I've never really used Steyrs in the game before. And they are made by New Holland, so it's New Holland's that make these little tractors. And I think it was Sim pointed out to me at one point. The cab is a Case, the front is a New Holland, and then it's got the red and white livery of Steyr on it as well. But it is quite an interesting setup, that. There we go. We'll open this up. Turn those off. And yeah, head up to field 17, where we'll get started. I can show you where we're going to eventually build our farm. So what we're working up to at the moment is field 19 is a field that we're going to have to work as a contract initially. It has an issue with it in that I think it has potatoes on it at the moment. So that kind of causes a problem. But there's there's a good load of roads around here. And you can see it's quite hilly around field 17. Field 17 is a decent sized field. And it cuts, so you cut down here. And we stay on our dirt road and head up here. So you can see over there, so that looks like, and is in fact, that is potatoes growing in that. So we're looking at eventually getting that field. At the moment we can't afford it, but if you look here, so we're going to park this beside our field here, but I want to show you guys this. Let's turn this off because we're going to tab back to our combine. That is a wonderfully flat area. And it's right by a dirt track, right by a road. What a perfect place for us to build our farmyard. So that is the plan. That is where we're going to build our farm. This is Yeah, this is potatoes. So let's tab over to our combine. There we go. Nice John Deere T560i. So put our header on our header trailer and head over to the field. Now I may not drive all the way around there with this, but we're certainly looking at getting most of the way around there. We might have to start in one of the far corner, you know, in the far corner where we turned in a moment ago. Would be just that little bit more. Would just take that little bit less time. Sorry. Right. Trailer on header trailer on the. Sorry, header on the trailer. And then we can hook it up and get started. Right, there we are. So this being soybeans has a slightly lower yield than wheat or barley does, but it should pay well. We of course won't initially get any straw off, but that's not a huge problem. We'll be in a good position in general with the soybeans, and as I said, it's a good area for us to build a farm. Really good area. I'm slightly surprised. This is the thing. So the placeable system in general, I love the idea of. I love that it works. It should work really, really well. It feels a little bit unfinished to me, but in general, it's a great idea. Finding flat areas like that on the map, that's what you want to do. If you want to build a farm, if you want to plan a farm, or want to have areas where you put a sheep down or cows or whatever, look for those areas. Look for those areas that are flat on the map, because those are the areas that you want to be using. Right, so we're going to pull in here. And we will just pull our trailer in over here. There we go. Drop it off. And now it's in a good position for us to get our combine, turn our combine, and get started on our field. So this is a reasonable sized field for us. It will very easily do, our combine should do this fairly easily. Right, and connect it up. Our header trailer has moved slightly. There we go. Right, connect it up. And let's start our combine up. And away we go. So as always, cutting with the... right, let's move that down a bit. Cutting with the auger into the field. This is from my time doing stuff in the UK more than anything, where you'd have trees and things around the edge. You don't want to risk bashing the auger on anything while if you have to unload on the first round. So yeah, you always keep the auger in the field to start off with, and you can see the speed with which this combine actually is handling these soybeans at the moment. Very pleased with this. Nice big field for us to start with. As I said, yield is not high. I don't know actually. Is this field fertilized? So yeah, it's half fertilized. Okay, so it's not going to be a massive. It's going to be a decent yield, but not the best yield we could get off the field, which is okay. Initially, we're going to have to put you know, things like soybeans and wheat and things like that in here, just while we get started up. Round we go. best to actually turn around, I've discovered, rather than try and reverse up and turn in. Our tractor may be a little bit in the way for us at the other end for this. But it's cutting well. She's cutting nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this headland cut to the point where we're ready to empty. And I'll come back to you at that point, and we can look at the tractor emptying and us moving on. So I am on my third headland at the moment. We are actually getting pretty full. I want to get we're going to get the styer in a moment. So what I'm probably going to do is jump out at the next corner and grab the styer. And what we can then do is get the combine emptied along this side. We're pretty close to being full. We've got 1,000 litres of soybeans to go. Which is quite good, and we can set a hired worker doing along the side here, get the styer, empty out, and then hopefully grab the combine again and take it off the hired worker before it turns around and comes back along here. So we'll get this lined up and in. Right, so let's set the hired worker off. We'll jump out and run over. Nearly has a full grain tank. Yep. Start the engine and away we go in our little tractor. There we are. Right. Pull alongside. And there we go. Empty that out and have it. Yeah, so we should be all right until the end of here. The one thing I do miss Glance telling me how full the combine is. The combine will reverse up a little bit. I know he is just going to empty here, so that's really good. What we can do then is we'll jump in and we'll take the hired worker off while it's doing that. And then we can get our tractor out the way so that we can get this last bit of headland out. And we've got one more side to do here, and then we're going to cut in. So we'll get the cutting done, and then I will jump again, I think. Right, there we are. Right, so we'll start. And away we go. So yeah, one more side here to do, one more side to cut. Good to see that we've got a trailer full of already. I think what we're going to do is we're going to divide this field into two halves and work our way back to what is eventually going to be our farm area. But yeah, to basically cut a third of the way into the field, well actually a quarter of the way into the field, and expand out from there, and then we'll do the same again in a moment from the other side of the field. So let's pick this up and round. This combine is really quick. Right, and I think we want to cut in about here. Should be good. Right, so that is running pretty straight. Let's look at where we are in the cab. So if we keep that tree roughly in the middle there, we should have a fairly straight run. And that will then be good. That will then divide this field into the first half. We can then get this cut out. This won't take us very long actually to get this out, I think. There's not a huge amount of the field left. So as I said, yeah, I'll cut this out. We will see how far we get. We are already, of our 10,000 litres, we're already nearly 1,500 litres just from this one row. So yeah, so we're 1,500 litres from this one row. So by that estimate, it will take us about 2 rows would be 3,000. 6 rows would be 9. So 10 rows. Interestingly. It won't be a full 10 rows. That can't be right. 3,000 is 2. No, sorry. 6, 7 rows is what that will be. With my maths not being that fantastic in this. So it won't be too long before we're emptying again. I think our tractor and trailer won't take more than sort of the single one. One more. So what we'll then do is we'll put the hired worker probably working its way through the middle of the field. While we go and tip. And that should all be good. Right, so I'm going to get this combine full again. And then we will go and look for somewhere to sell our first trailer of soybeans. So, as it turns out, I miscalculated slightly a moment ago. You can see we've cut way more than 7 rows and we're not full yet. And this is because I forgot to take into account that we've just done a bit of the headland, and therefore, 1,500 wasn't actually going to be the number of litres that we produce of soybeans per row. It's actually closer to about 750, which means that we're going to be doing 14 rows before we're full, rather than just the 7. However, that does mean that we are now most of the way through the field. It's gonna be more than one more grain tank for this. But it was one of those things where I'm getting further and further into the field and going, I've miscalculated this. I've miscalculated exactly what the yield of this. And yeah, as it turns out, I doubled the yield that we actually get. We are in the last 2,000 litres though. And if we reach 8,500 at the end of this, then it's only going to be 2 more rows. And in fact, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat the other end. We're not going to cut into the other bit because, as it turns out, we did cut in a little bit far, and therefore left a thinner strip at the other side, and it's actually better for us to go outside. Let's grab this little bit here. There we go. So we're going to do this edge, and then we're going to send the hired worker coming back down the other side and let him work towards the him or her work towards the middle of the field. As it's a nice straight edge for the hired worker to work on because it did it last time. And there is a little tuft of soybeans over there we are going to have to get the hired worker to get. But otherwise it's good. Yeah, so we're at 8,500 now. So by the end of that row, it will be pretty full. In fact, we will do the other row, and then we'll get the hired worker doing this row here, because the combine really will be full on the return trip down here next time. And actually, looking at this, it might even be full. Yeah, with only 1,000 litres to go, it will be very close to being full when we run down the other side. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, not a lot of field left now. My hope is that when I return next time, I will be able to just fill the tractor. And this will allow us to get this little tuft that we've got down the bottom here. But it's worked well, this combine. I like this combine. I really do like this combine. And I'm glad that it's one of those bits of equipment that is actually pretty well in reach in Farm Manager. Not in reach at all if you are doing start from scratch. You really do have to start with small stuff. But as Farm Manager, you can leap up to this combine if you want. Which means you can also start on a larger field like this one. This would actually be a really good contracting combine as well. It will work really well for doing other fields, and will bring us in a good amount of money because of that. Right, we're just going to reverse up here. grab this little tuft. And it really is pretty full. I would like it if we were able to get this the whole way up here, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be full before. Right, so there we go. Before we get anywhere near the combine, because our little styer is struggling a little bit up this hill. It's less than 200. Yeah, there we go. He's full. So underneath that, like so. What I want to do is back off, let him do, and then we will fill off the combine along the rest of this side. Works well with this John Deere assistant styer. And I love that it's essentially the same tractor as both the T6 and the Maxim, and yeah, it's a cheaper one to do. There we go. So we'll back off and let the hired worker get started again. And when it does, we will pull back alongside. And yeah, we've just got a little bit more to top off, and we should be able to do it. There should be enough along this side for us to do that. Yeah. We are absolutely just continually emptying the grain tank. Not a lot there. Takes 2100, so we're going to be within 500 really. Yeah, there we go. Right, so that's just topped us off a bit. We'll let him continue on. We are going to go and have a look and find the best place for us to sell soybeans, which is really useful. You can order these now. So 1,583 at the Port East. So let's mark that on the map. Go back, and that looks like it's at the bottom. It's right at the bottom right hand side of the map. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to head down there. I'll show you where it is on the map. Past the barrier here. I'm going to head down there in our little styer and tip this, and I will see you down there, because it's a little bit of a drive. So we're approaching the sell point now, and you can see it flashing on the map. We can see the big green beacon as well, actually, for exactly where it is. So up and across this bridge here. It's quite a scenic map. This I'm actually really enjoying this map. Smaller fields are much more suitable for this kind of series for us, and just a really neat little map, actually. First time I've played it in any kind of depth. Right, so sell point, by the looks of things, is round this side here somewhere. There it is. So let's see how much we make off this for our first sale of crops, because we don't have where to store it at the moment. So tip it out. Here we go. So soybeans are fairly profitable crops to have, and it is a grand total of, wow, actually that's a really good amount of money off those soybeans. 32,000 off the 20,000 litres we got here. So actually that is probably as good a place as any to finish, simply because we have very little more to get off the field. Our hired work will probably be done by the time we get back up there. I reckon we might get about, well, we got 32,000 off that. I reckon we're going to get about 40,000 off this field in total, which is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I think this is a good place for me to end for our first episode. We'll get the rest off the field, and next time we will see what we have to do. But for now, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this first episode from Felsbrunn. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from FendtFarmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.